In the quiet town of Willow Creek, nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering pines, there lived a woman named Agatha. Agatha was known for her eccentricities and her reclusive nature, and some whispered that she was a witch. One day, a young man named Thomas came to Willow Creek. He was handsome and charming, and he quickly won the hearts of the townsfolk. Agatha, however, was wary of him. She sensed a darkness in him, a hidden malice that made her skin crawl. One evening, Thomas approached Agatha, his eyes gleaming with an unholy light. He begged her for a love potion, claiming that he was hopelessly in love with a young woman named Emily. Agatha, repulsed by his request, refused. Enraged, Thomas cursed Agatha, vowing that she would suffer for her defiance. The curse took hold immediately. Agatha's once vibrant health began to fade. Her skin grew pale and gaunt, her hair fell out in clumps, and her eyes lost their spark. She became a recluse, shutting herself away from the world in her crumbling cottage. Years passed, and Thomas and Emily married. They had a happy life, filled with love and laughter. But Agatha's curse lingered, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked in Thomas's heart. One day, Thomas's children were playing in the woods when they stumbled upon Agatha's cottage. They were drawn to the strange, old woman who lived there, and they began to visit her regularly. Agatha, at first wary of the children, soon warmed to them. They were a breath of fresh air in her lonely life. One evening, as the children were leaving Agatha's cottage, they noticed a dark cloud gathering above. The wind picked up, and the trees began to sway ominously. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning struck Agatha's cottage, setting it ablaze. The children watched in horror as the flames engulfed Agatha's home. They tried to run inside to save her, but the fire was too fierce. They could only watch as Agatha's silhouette disappeared into the inferno. The next day, the news of Agatha's death spread through Willow Creek. The townsfolk mourned her passing, but they also whispered that she had finally paid the price for her witchcraft. Thomas, upon hearing the news, felt a pang of guilt. He had never meant for Agatha to die, but he knew that his curse had played a part in her demise. He was haunted by the memory of her, and he could never shake the feeling that he had brought evil upon himself. As the years passed, Thomas's life began to unravel. His once happy marriage turned sour, his business failed, and his health deteriorated. He became a bitter, lonely man, haunted by the ghosts of his past. One day, as Thomas was walking through the woods, he came across Agatha's grave. He fell to his knees, overcome with remorse. He begged for forgiveness, but he knew that it was too late. Thomas died a few weeks later, alone and forgotten. His story became a cautionary tale in Willow Creek, a reminder of the dangers of unchecked anger and the power of forgiveness. The townsfolk of Willow Creek mourned Agatha's passing, but the whispers of witchcraft followed her even in death. Fearful of a vengeful spirit, they avoided her cottage, leaving it to become further consumed by the encroaching forest. Years bled into decades, and the legend of Agatha the witch grew. Parents used her story to frighten their children from straying too far into the woods. But the children, fueled by a strange curiosity, often dared each other to peek through the boarded windows of the abandoned cottage. One particularly adventurous group of teenagers, fueled by youthful bravado, decided to spend the night in Agatha's ruins. As darkness fell, they huddled around a flickering fire, fueled by scavenged wood and nervous whispers. Suddenly, a gust of wind swept through the dilapidated structure, extinguishing the fire and plunging them into complete darkness. Panic seized the group, their bravado forgotten. Then, a soft, ethereal glow emanated from the corner of the room. Fear turned to astonishment as they saw a beautiful woman, her form shimmering with an otherworldly light. It was Agatha, no longer gaunt and wizened, but radiant and serene. Agatha spoke in a voice that seemed to echo from the very walls, calming their fears. She explained that the curse had bound her spirit to the cottage, unable to find peace until someone acknowledged the good within her. The children, touched by her story, confessed their childhood visits and their growing respect for the ostracized woman. A single tear rolled down Agatha's spectral cheek. It was a tear of gratitude, finally released from the burden of misunderstanding. As the first rays of dawn peeked through the broken windows, Agatha's form began to fade. With a gentle smile, she thanked the teenagers for setting her spirit free. News of the teenagers' encounter spread like wildfire. The townsfolk, ashamed of their prejudice, finally understood Agatha's true nature. A sense of remorse hung heavy in the air. They gathered at Agatha's cottage, not with fear, but with respect. Together, they cleared the debris and began to rebuild the structure, transforming it into a small library in Agatha's honor. The library became a haven for knowledge and a symbol of the town's atonement. Agatha's story, once a cautionary tale, transformed into a reminder of the dangers of judging others based on rumors and the power of forgiveness, even after death. And on quiet nights, some claimed to see a soft, ethereal light flickering amongst the bookshelves, a testament to Agatha's enduring spirit, finally at peace.